Well, hello everybody, Jason of New Age Revolution Cave. And it's the return of LJN's Revisited. Tomorrow's going to be the Power Hour. And then, whatever else, I don't know. We'll keep it going. You seem to be enjoying the vacation video and the vacation pickups, so appreciate the views in the comments, most of them. Andrew, what are we doing? Well, we're talking about LJNs. Behind me, we've got some Christmas boxes, and usually, well, every year this room turns into the Christmas storage room, so I don't have a lot of access down here in December. We kind of shut the room down in December and just get through Christmas. I'm looking around, and we wrapped some things tonight. I'm a little upset. I'm a little, I don't know, the children might be aging out of Christmas, which sounds horribly bizarre to say at 12 and 8 years old, but there's not a lot on their, they're not into a lot of things. And I blame, obviously, myself for that. But it's really, they're gamers. That's all they do. They don't collect anymore. So you don't want a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go buy a lot of stuff. So it's less. And I know that that's not, well, that is what Christmas is about when you're kids, I guess. But I don't know. I overdid it every year. Honestly, with crap. And a lot of that crap has been resold on Marketplace, on eBay, packed away years sooner than it should have been. And so I'm not going to do it. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You're here to talk about the greatest toy line in history. That's right. Without question. Without argument. The greatest toy line in history of toys, LJN's Wrestling Superstars, and we are making our way through the line, and you can see there's a little hole right there, a little space, if you will, because the figure that we're going to talk about now is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's right, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Had this figure. Had him as a kid and absolutely loved the heck out of him. Loved this figure so much, played with it so much, probably because of the pose, but I also really liked Hacksaw Duggan before he became really goofy. Obviously, the WWF makes everybody goofy. Hacksaw Duggan probably had no choice in WWF land in the late 80s to be whatever they wanted him to be, but I think Hacksaw Duggan is super underrated and probably could have been a great bad guy brawler, Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Terry Funk type of guy if he'd just stayed the Mid-South UWF Hacksaw Duggan. But, of course, McMahon land turned him into the USA ho kind of fella. And sure, they got him his greatest success and his greatest fame and his greatest notoriety and an action figure, and great, super. But I would have loved him as a mean, tough bad guy. I never used him as a bad guy in the LJN Fed of youth because I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. I probably should have. Probably should have turned him bad and had him be a rough, tough brawler. In fact, if the lock ever comes off the doors of the PACW arena, we might see a Hacksaw Duggan heel turn in the future. But I loved this figure, and again, played with him so much as a kid. I met the Hacksaw. I met the good Hacksaw several years ago. Maybe I think Liam was probably 6. Liam and I went to a Rochester Comic-Con, RockCon, because us here in Rochester have to be hip and call Rochester The Rock, because we're that cool. So we went to the Rock Con, and this is a tiny, low budget convention that they have like 4 guests, and they're always the Power Rangers of some kind. Junk. It's always garbage guests. I never go any year because they're terrible. But I went because Hacksaw Duggan was coming, and I wanted to meet him and have Liam involved, and so we went and we got a nice picture with Hacksaw Duggan, and we got one of the gimmick 2x4s signed by Hacksaw Duggan, which is so I think for the photo and the autograph it was like $60, but we got a cool picture with the Hacksaw. So again, used this figure a lot. Never had any major success in the LJN WWF Fed. No championships or anything. Let's not get crazy. But like I said, used the heck out of them. I do not have the 2x4. I do not have the actual LJN 2x4. So I used the I don't know if this is the Jax Classic Superstars. I think this is the Jax Classic Superstars 2x4. I think. Because Mattel made a Duggan, but Mattel's figures were a little smaller. I don't think this is the Mattel. I think this is the Jax. So who cares, right? Who cares? I use this. I use this 2x4 like so, and it looks just fine, right? I never understood how Duggan could throw a 2x4, which wasn't a 2x4. I mean, it was cut down obviously to what? I mean, well, 2x4 by 10. So it was a 2x4. It was just not a full, like, obviously. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not really handy with wood. But I never understood how he could take that sharp-edged piece of lumber and throw it high into the air and then catch it. Because that's a little intimidating, the 2x4. It's a little intimidating. Hit you in the head, you're out. I mean, if he dropped that, it would cut him. I never understood how he did that. I loved the there's so many. There's a couple of Hacksaw moments. Obviously, Bobby Heenan's ability to rip on Hacksaw Duggan's cross eye or whatever was just hilarious. And in the, I'm getting it wrong, but the WrestleMania 5 match when it was Duggan against Bad News Brown, I don't know where that happened. Royal Rumble of some kind. Duggan after the match had a massive amount of snot hanging out of his nose, and Jesse Ventura called it out. Jesse was like, "Oh, look at that, Duggan! What is that snot? Look at that!" You had to call it out. It was on camera, and Jesse called it snot, and he disgusting, it is snot. And I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, let's take a closer look at Hacksaw Jim Duggan. All right, as always, I implore you, folks, if you want to display your LJN figures, you need to get over to Etsy and check out 4 Left 3D Creations on Etsy. 4 Left, that's F-O-R-E, 4 Left 3D Creations on Etsy, and get your custom Hacksaw Jim Duggan LJN stand. And here he is, the good Hacksaw. Great figure. Tons of play with this figure. Face is fine. This one's a little worn down. The eyebrows don't look very good on this figure. A little bit of paint wear here is kind of taking away from it. But yeah, this is a great figure. Of course, you've got the thumbs up. I never liked that with the figures. Obviously, you had to with Duggan. We didn't care as kids. Who cared? Right? You got the punching hand up there. The 2x4 rests in his hand. Black trunks, white boots. I gotta look back. I mean, I guess this was probably his outfit. I think black trunks, black boots might have looked better. Now, this is before Duggan went with the blue trunks and he was doing the over-the-top USA gimmick. You know, this is his early entry WWF look, which again I preferred because like I said earlier, I think he would have been a fantastic brawler as he was in the Mid-South. But there he is, Hacksaw Duggan. Back is the back. 2x4, like I said earlier, is not the LJN 2x4, and I don't care. So there you go, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, one of my more enjoyed figures as a kid, more played with figures. All right, coming up next will be another disaster of a figure of the 88 line, Honky Tonk Man. We'll take a look at as the beginning of the end is underway, folks. Yes, we'll look at the Honky Tonk Man next episode. Good night now.